Listen well, Sylvain. You are to be the next Margrave Gautier. I expect you to stand in my stead against foreign threats, and to protect your king, your people, your friends, and your family. Which, of course, I failed to do. Forgive me, Sylvain. I know I was a terrible father.
I love this track that's playing right now. I think it's called Soliloquy. Very good.
So this is the part where you command me to succeed my father, right?
Yes. The Srang forces are growing bolder in response to the Federation's invasion. We dare not leave so important a position as the Margrave of Gautier vacant.
I respectfully accept, of course. I've been bracing for this since the moment my father departed. Ha! Me, the head of House Gautier. What will my brother say?
I doubt he will have much to say at all at this point. But we will send word to the western outposts nonetheless.
Sylvain, you have my deepest apologies. It was only because the Margrave sought to secure our escape that he...
Don't apologize. It would make my father's sacrifice meaningless. What he did wasn't for pride, house, or the kingdom. He gave his life to protect his friends. It was what he wanted to do. My father did whatever brought him the most satisfaction. That's how he lived his whole life. I promise you, he had no regrets. In fact, when he left the castle, he was beaming in a way I'd never seen before.
But if we'd only fought with a little more skill, the Margrave wouldn't have died at all.
We're at war, Felix. No matter how hard you fight, there are going to be times you just can't win. House Fraldarius fought well. The battle was so brutal that even Ash had to surrender.
Sylvain...
No. All of my hatred is reserved for these invaders. This foreign threat. They take everything from us and think nothing of it.
Claude just did a whole lot of thinking. He thinks really hard about taking things.
Golden Wildfire. 2 kings. The Federation army moves through Fraldarius like lightning. It will not be long until they march on the capital city of Ferdiad. However, it is unclear how the Federation forces will be able to capture Ferdiad, let alone seize control of the entire kingdom. What is the true purpose of their invasion?
Was Claude gonna do something weird? Claude always does something weird.
What is it, Arvel?
Perhaps you've forgotten by now, but think back to the battle at ALL. Amidst that blazing battlefield was a man named Myson assisting Fleisch. Do you remember him?
Dude, who could forget Myson, the most famous character of Three Houses lore? Everybody knows Myson. He's the most knowable guy around. Doesn't he, like, make chicken nuggets or something?
Yeah, now that you mention it. We were all so distraught over Judith's death. I'd completely forgotten.
I have to say, your companions don't seem particularly concerned about the true nature of your powers. But have you yourself forgotten as well? About Tomas and what you witnessed at the monastery 3 years ago?
I was just thinking to myself, by the way, we're going into chapter 12. I assume Golden Wildfire has about 16 chapters, give or take, because I think that's how many Black Eagles had, was 16. And this is chapter 12, and we're at Ferdiad. So we've got to get like 3 or 4 more chapters somehow out of this storyline after Ferdiad. There are like 2 major options in my eyes. 1, Claude turns against the Empire, which would be a real dick move, and I don't really expect him to do, but maybe he will. I don't know. We'll see. B, something going on with those who slither in the dark, because those who slither in the dark are the ones who set up Fleisch and whatnot. So I'm wondering if they're gonna go like hard on those who slither in the next couple of chapters. I think in Three Houses, Golden Deer was their storyline went hard against those who slither in the dark because they go to Shambhala and fight them there and whatnot, and then they fight the revived Nemesis, etc. So I guess we'll see.
Huh. Yes, I did, yeah. I think I see what you're getting at, though. Tomas and Myson had similar powers, and they were probably working together. Which means maybe and maybe your power
Dun dun dun.
Is everyone here? There's something I'd like to discuss with you all.
Ferdiad is already in our sights. What exactly is there for us to talk about now?
Don't tell me you're calling off the attack.
No, of course not. This is actually something I've been mulling over for a while now. Let's say we win the next battle and manage to get the kingdom to surrender. What's next for Fódlan? We don't have the power to rule the kingdom, nor any interest in doing so.
I imagine we'd work out some sort of joint governance plan with the Empire, then negotiate the rest from there. Although, given the difference in power between us and the Empire, most of the kingdom's territory would likely go to them.
Exactly. And what would Edelgard's next project be? Leicester, making us a vassal of the Empire. The Empire takes control of us, and Fódlan's one big happy family again. I don't think that would come as a shock to anyone.
Okay, maybe he will be turning against the Empire for the last couple of chapters.
So, what are we gonna do about it?
Honorably surrender to Edelgard, that's what I would do.
We yank out the root of this conflict ourselves. We'll bring the war to an end on our own terms.
And by root, I assume you are referring to the Central Church?
I am. They're the one and only reason we're cooperating with the Empire, right? The Church wields their authority like some sort of righteous cudgel. The problem is, said authority was never theirs to begin with. They need to be stopped. That's the Empire's entire moral argument for this war. If they were to continue fighting after the Church is eliminated, it would be nothing more than blatant aggression.
But is it even possible to destroy the Central Church without conquering Fargus?
That's why we're going straight for the capital. Dimitri's going to answer that question for us.
Interesting. And what will he decide, hmm?
He'll sever ties with the Central Church. He'll submit to the Federation. Are these not the same thing? I don't think he'll sever ties with the Central Church, because Fargus is, like, super deep respectful with the Church and all that and whatnot, at least from what I remember of the Three Houses Black Eagles run. So I guess he'll submit to the Federation. I mean, if we're pointing... I don't think Dimitri will submit even if we're pointing a sword at him. It's been a while since I played Black Eagles' Three Houses run, but in Three Houses, don't they, like, beat Dimitri, like, in the Black Eagles run, and Dimitri is like, I will die before surrendering to you or whatever, and then Edelgard has to kill him? Or something like that? Like, I don't think he's gonna do either of these two things.
I guess he'll want the kingdom to become a vassal state of the Federation, and...
Just stop. Honestly, you are beyond belief sometimes. Have we not gone over why that's impossible?
Both options are impossible.
Our actions will effectively force him to cut ties with the Church.
Or he'll fight to the death. Like, there's another option in which Dimitri does not surrender.
What I meant is, we're gonna make him cut ties with the Church?
I never played a full Blue Lions run in Three Houses or in this game. I don't know Dimitri's character that well, but from what I know of Dimitri, I do not think he's going to do that.
Exactly.
But the King of Fargus made a commitment to the Central Church when he granted them sanctuary. Decisions of that nature are not so lightly reversed.
Of that, I have no doubt. But if he refuses, this senseless war will only continue.
Yeah, I think that's what he'll do.
The kingdom's lands will be ravaged, its people hurt or killed. I know Dimitri doesn't want that, and neither do we.
Ending this war with as few sacrifices as possible is something we should all be able to agree on. And if you do the math and weigh which option involves the fewest casualties, the answer is quite obvious.
I see your point. It does sound like it would be worth trying to convince him.
But would they do something so dishonorable? Fargus places a high value on chivalry, after all.
I don't know. But it's not going to matter unless we can actually get in a position to ask.
Hilda's right. We'll have to deal with this after the next battle, and that's assuming we can defeat Dimitri and his army. As always, I'm counting on you all to get us there.
Well, I'm interested to see how this is gonna play out. Without a doubt. What the heck? We're in the middle of everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? No, 9? Or not 9, 7? It's 7 or 8. We got a lot of matches to do. Battle suggestions.
Will this work?
Slightly increase the chance of raising a unit's magic when they level up.
Here's what
Speed, dexterity.
How about
Magic is best out of all of these options. Magic or speed, maybe. We'll go with magic.
I'll take care of it.
One step at a time.
Support points. All right, 7 activity points. Crossing the ocean is in an enormous boat will certainly be a novel experience for you. I swear, this army is unparalleled when it comes to cooking up harebrained schemes. But I shall hold my tongue as long as they put food on your table. Hey, Raphael.
I need you for a sec.
I don't really get all that complicated strategy stuff, but I think we're fighting for a good cause. We're just trying to end this war quick so people don't have to die anymore, right? I agree. That's right. Then that's all I needed to know. Now let's go storm the capital with everything we got. Sup, dude? Did you know that hunger is the true enemy? Dude, he knew. He knew off the back of his hand. Let's use a ton of these points right out the gate. Just absolutely chunk down these activity points. Bum, 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 bum. I nodded pretty decisively there. I think we got a good one. Ooh, baby, we got a perfect one. Gamer moment. Filet mignon.
Agreed.
Bum, 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 bum. We're definitely not going to finish this chapter today. We got like an hour and a half. But we should be able to get pretty close to the, whatchamacallit. We should be able to get pretty close to finishing this chapter, hopefully. Bum, 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 bum. Nah, that doesn't look good. Looked at the pot weird. It's not going to boil properly.
Yeah.
Look at the graphical quality of this food. It sure is something.
Whenever you're hungry. Hunger is the true enemy.
Dude, it do be the true enemy, though. It really do. Sure, Ignatz and Marianne, why not? Why not? I'm just trying to get all of my buffs before we start fighting and get through all these activity points.
Yeah.
It's a minor thing, but I wish that I could just, like, select 4 or 5 dishes and do them all at once. It would be weird for these little moments where the characters have, like, little dialogue, but, like, there should just be an option to just, like, skip that dialogue, you know? Because, like, I've heard them all talk to each other enough times. I just want to get my, whatchamacallits. I just want to get my buffs and get these activity points used.
Solid.
Solid, solid. I love Happy's outfit. I love the shoulder pads. That's another reason, by the way, I'm thinking that it's a good idea to try and swap Lysithea over, or at least try it, is because now that we have Happy, we have 3 Grimoires.
I am having concerns.
I'm having a hard time staying in the kingdom so long. The cold is wearing me down. Are the people here being used to this? Bridget is the opposite. It is very hot. The cold's in their blood.
Are you sure?
People born in cold climates can't stand hot places, just like those from hot areas can't bear the cold. Is it really so simple? I do not have understanding. Oh, well, you know, there's probably more to it, but what do I look like, a biologist? I'm a bear doctor. You're asking too much of me. On the subject of unassailable fortresses, one can hardly forget Fódlan's Locket in Leicester.
Well.
Do you know of any others? Aryan Road, I think, is the name of a really big fortress between the Empire and... I don't know what Fort Marseilles is, but Aryan Road is the really big, like, super famous fortress between the Kingdom and the Empire.
Uh-huh.
I guess there's Aryan Road in the Kingdom.
Makes sense.
I wasn't expecting you to say that. I thought people from Leicester would think of Fort Marseilles first. I don't know what Fort Marseilles is, and am I from Leicester? In any case, Ferdiad's defenses are also quite formidable. Walls encircle not only the palace, but the entire city as well, and they have an exorbitant amount of forts. Good for them. We'll take them all down if we have to. Yo, Holst.
Hoy there.
I expected the Empire to be doing better on the Western Front. The Emperor planned to cut through the Western Lords, but the kingdom's been prepared to defend against any betrayals. So their only recourse has been to use brute force, but they've yet to gain any decisive victories. If the Empire could blast through the front lines, they'd be able to attack the capital with us, but as it stands, no, it's probably for the best that we got here before the Empire. Yeah, you know, I don't think Edelgard would do well with trying to reason with Dimitri instead of, you know, stabbing him. Happy is done with Warlock, which is great. Let's have her train Priest. And then Lysithea. All right, Lysithea, this is going to get weird. It's going to get weird, but you're training Mercenary. And I'm going to swap Hilda and Holst so that Holst will speed up your training. Yeah. Raphael, we do not use you anymore. Is there anyone else we can put in that I actually use? No. Like, all of the units I use are here. I mean, how many units is this? 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? 12. This is 12 units. I use about 11 units and cycle between them. Just put Ash in for the sake of putting Ash in. Just because I don't care about Raphael and I don't want to have to keep working on his stuff. Like, he and Ignatz can help each other buff here. So honestly, I'm just going to hit successive training. I don't think anyone's going to max out here in those 7. And no, I don't think anyone did. We just got Dark Spikes on Sonya, which I think I'm going to use over Fire Sweep, to be completely real with you. Lysithea almost mastered this sword class. She's pretty close. Like 2, maybe 3 more training sessions if we can get the, if we can recover enough points for that. And we can probably have her max that out. I don't think we'll get her to Mortal Savant in this chapter, but next chapter it's very possible that she could reach Mortal Savant. Oh, wait, I forgot. I need to turn Happy into a Gremory because we got the Master Seal for her from that last fight. Yeah. Well, for training, we'll have her master the Priest and Bishop stuff, but in combat, she'll be Gremory. I think she has a unique kill thing with Gremory. She does the thing where she, like, sighs and summons a monster, which is really cool.
Proper training, you'll be unstoppable.
So that's a new one for her. Good use of training time.
I was thinking.
It sounds like the previous king of Fargus was a real great guy. I wonder what the current king is like. He's still pretty young, right? Yeah, he's pretty serious.
Let's see.
I've only talked with him a bit, but he struck me as a pretty serious guy. Well, yeah, I'd be worried if a king wasn't serious. Though come to think of it, I guess our king doesn't really fit that bill. Yeah, you know, Claude, he's a go-lucky fun guy.
Hey.
I must say, it's rather vicious of Claude to bring a former kingdom knight on our assault of the capital. Though it's honestly not the worst idea. It'll probably make it harder for our opponents to fight us. That's war, baby. That's just how war is. Nothing else matters as long as we win. Okay, well, not nothing else matters. That's not what I wanted to say. Maybe so. I'm sure he understood the consequences when he surrendered as well. I suppose it isn't my place to say anything as long as Ash is fine with it. Yeah, makes sense. Lysithea?
Let's see.
The longer this war drags on, the more exhausted everyone will become, even if we win. I concur that Claude's plan is the best and fastest way to end this war. That's why we have to win. After all, I can't afford to spend all my time on the battlefield. All right, I got a lot of money. We're going to dump it into tactic stuff first. So, group session. Raising the crest level. Gain deeper understanding of the nature of one's crest. I don't know what exact buff this is going to be giving, but it's probably worthwhile. Ability slots. Turn off Ash. We're not using Ash. So, Leonie, you get +2, so we have you caught up with everyone else now. Good. Now, Happy, you need this. And then get everyone to 3. That's a huge chunk of our gold, but I'm doing it. Enhance unique ability. We definitely need Happy to get that up 1. We really want to get everyone up 2, but we need another big chunk of cash for it. Let me get Happy all of these other level 1 upgrades that she never got. And then raising crest level. It's just you 6 are the only ones that I use, huh? That have crests. Looks like it. I kind of want to see what your individual crest upgrades do, though. 50% words. 50% chance to recover HP when landing a combat goes to 20% chance. Kinda meh. 10% chance to land a critical hit with combat arts up to 15. Worth it because I love Hilda.
This'll come in handy.
Lysithia. 40% chance to increase the damage dealt by offensive magic. Yes.
I had this talent hidden
10% chance to increase the damage dealt by strong attacks. We don't use strong attacks super often, but if I do, I want that buff. Is there someone else that I used who had a crest? Balthus. 40% chance to recover HP when landing a combat art. Sure.
Can't wait to get back out there.
We'll do that. 30% chance that weapon durability will not decrease when using recovery magic. Garbage. And then we'll give Claude his. Alright, and now I'm poor again.
Don't neglect your daily studies.
Next thing we probably want to look at upgrading when we get an influx of cash is going to be battalions.
All right.
When the King of Elmira was a young lad, we used to sneak into Fódlan together. All we did was travel around and have a good time, though. That's how I picked up the language. Is that also how he ended up landing Claude's mother? But we never traveled farther than Leicester, so this is my first trip to the kingdom, too. I'll be even more famous once I regale everyone with tales of my rampage across the kingdom capital. Good for you, man. Good for you. We don't need to talk to every blue dot before we do some missions, but I want to get most of them done. So Claude's plan is to snuff out the Central Church. They were the cause of this war, and taking them out would effectively end it. And then he will create a world where everyone can live as they please without the need of sacrifice to others. To sacrifice others. Who knows what he'll come up with next? Defend Claude. It sounds like you've got a problem with all that, but I think Claude's got the right idea. Well, I don't think his plan... I'm not sure he's got the right idea. I don't think his plan is going to work out. Like, it's a nice idea, but I don't know if it's the right one.
In actuality...
Of course he does. Not only is it the right idea, but his vision for the future is finally taking shape. If that was his aim all along, he should have said so sooner. We could have taken more initiative in the war if we had known what he wanted from the start. Yeah, Claude does definitely have a problem of keeping stuff way too close to his chest, mostly in relation to other people. There was probably a moment or two where Edelgard wasn't, like, super straightforward in her route in this game. I think she's fairly secretive in Black Eagles. But I feel like she's only secretive during the school section of the game. But when she gets to the war section of the game, she's very upfront with, like, all of her allies. And, like, this is what we're doing. This is what we're going to try and accomplish. Which is, you know, another reason that I like Edelgard more than Claude. Edelgard is definitely insanely secretive before the war starts, though. But when she gets into the war and she's asking people to fight a war for her, she's like, listen, this is what I'm trying to get done.
Let me know if I
Claude is very much like, I'll tell you about it if it works.